This is original Disney theme park concept art by the historic Disney artist Marc Davis, and one of the reasons that I love it so much is that Marc was my friend. And one of the reasons I love to do these videos is I get to share stuff like this with you, otherwise it may never be seen again. I'll tell you more about the artwork in a minute, but this is a picture of the day that I met Marc when I was working at the Disney Studios. I had no idea that we would become friends after this. Marc started working at Disney in 1935. He worked on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Disney's first animated feature, and he became part of what Walt called his 9 old men. Marc didn't just animate characters, he designed them too. He designed Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians, Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty, and even Tinker Bell. There's a long-time rumor that Tinker Bell was modeled after Marilyn Monroe, but Marc told me personally that's not true at all. Later, Walt moved Marc to Imagineering, where he worked on attractions like Pirates of the Caribbean, the Jungle Cruise, and the Haunted Mansion. This is actually some artwork that Marc did for the Haunted Mansion. It appears in the attraction queue as an image that slowly changes from this first one to this last one. This is a print, not an original, but Marc did sign it for me. This concept art was done for a ride at Epcot called World of Motion. And I'm curious if any of you ever heard of that. I want you to let me know in the comments because I really want to know. Even if you weren't born until after the ride was gone, I'm just curious if you know what it was. For those that don't know, World of Motion is where Test Track currently is. It was a 14-minute ride telling the history of transportation with humor. This is some footage from an old General Motors promotional video. General Motors was the sponsor of World of Motion. In so many classic attractions, Marc would come up with ideas and draw them on paper or paint them. He would create the characters and the scene which so many talented people would ultimately turn into a life-size three-dimensional part of a Disney attraction. Marc was particularly good with humor. In fact, some of the earliest things that Walt Disney had Marc work on was creating humorous scenes for the Mine Train and the Jungle Cruise attractions, which were pretty serious until they updated them with Marc's ideas and scenes. Marc told me that he felt that they were in the entertainment business, and that's how he thought of it. It wasn't just designing rides or displays, it was trying to entertain. And this artwork was created for a scene that was ultimately cut and it didn't make it into the ride. But one of the things that I love about Marc's artwork is that he had the ability to tell a whole story in a single image, just like this one. You see here that it's a shell game, a swindler moving the pea between the shells, trying to fool unsuspecting players. But behind him is a little boy watching in shock. He could see the con man cheating, and the man's arm is holding the kid back so he doesn't give it away. And this story is also personal to me because when I was in London, I saw a shell game just like this, and I was standing where the little boy was, really further behind, but behind the person doing it, and I saw him passing the pea from shell to shell. So no matter how many times you played or if you exactly watched the pea, you just wouldn't win. And what I love about this artwork in typical Marc fashion is that it tells the entire story instantly. I just loved his work. And this scene was never built, but in this drawing, and with people like you watching, this part of Disney history won't be lost forever.